pasta, like what could be better? Weeknight pasta, like those two go well together. So the first thing I'm gonna do, because my pasta is called pasta with sausage and escarole, I put on the rigatoni because not everyone knows the actual tube shaped pasta I'm going to use. As you know, with any pasta dish, you could use whatever shape that pleased you or that you enjoy. I've made this most with rigatoni. However, I don't have rigatoni, but I have some of this leftover pottery, however they say it. And this is a delightful pasta. It's larger than rigatoni, it's tubular, and that's what I'm going to be using. So as you know, one of my biggest hacks for when you're making any quick meal or if you're streaming is to get your water boiling. So I'm going to actually bring it back up to a boil because of all this little drama. I'm going to make sure it's back on. And I'm also going to do something else, and I'll tell you the story about the recipe in a minute, but I'm going to get my escarole dried off in a towel. So escarole is considered a bitter green, although I got to tell you, I really don't consider escarole a bitter green. I think it's one of the less bitter greens. It's not bitter like kale or some of the other dark greens, and doesn't have the texture difference that spinach has. I love all of I've not really met a green I don't like. But I think escarole is neat because if someone is a little hesitant with greens, to me it has a little bit more sweetness and it doesn't have a funny texture, and it might seem more approachable. So I love escarole, and this is wonderful in this pasta. So what I do with any greens that I'm going to be washing is I usually cut off the end first. I bought the head. Now you can, of course, buy escarole already triple washed and all of that, and even cut up, which is totally fine if you want that shortcut. But it is super quick to get it ready. I cut this off, fill a large bowl with water, and then I just take it and I shake off the extra, and then I'm gonna put it in a towel to kind of let the towel absorb the extra. Now we have, of course, much more escarole than I'm gonna use tonight, and I'm gonna talk about some other uses you can use for your leftover escarole. Because you might be wondering that too. You might think, well, I don't even know if I want to buy escarole because what am I going to do with it once I'm done with this meal if I don't use it all? Now, if you're cooking this per the directions, by the way, the link is below for the recipe. It serves 4. I'm going to only be cooking for 1 since it's just me tonight. And I love that recipes we can always adapt that way. And to be honest, not that I eat by myself very often, but cooking for 1 is kind of nice insofar as you're talking smaller amounts. So it's just a lot more manageable oftentimes than cooking bigger meals. So I'm just shaking off the extra water, and then you could put this in a salad spinner, but anyone that knows me knows I do not like having more things to wash. And so usually I'm just also trying to be mindful of my hubs who does all the washing if I do the cooking. But it's just me and I, so I am definitely mindful of the washing or wanting lack of washing. So what I do every time, I don't use my salad spinner anymore. I think I got that for our wedding years ago, and I just kind of said goodbye to it. But what I do is I lay everything out in a towel, and then I wrap it up like so. I do this for romaine, for really anything that I'm getting on, that's all attached, and I want to make sure it's well washed, because I should have showed you what was in that bowl. Got little bugs, got dirt, nasty stuff. I don't really want to eat that. I know it would have technically hurt me, but plus if there's pesticides used or God knows what used, you kind of want to get all that off. So, and what's nice is everything kind of goes to the bottom, and so any sand and anything heavy, and then some of the little buggies kind of are on top, but then you can see them and avoid them. And then this is what I do. My husband, he laughs at me every time. So I roll it up, I tuck in the ends, and I do hold those tight, and then we do a little whirligig. So then I do this, and I go round and round and round. And when that happens, you will, if anyone remembers their science classes with centrifugal force, all the water goes out to the edges when you spin it in a circle. And in doing so, you help get some of the extra water off, and then if you put this in your fridge for a few hours, it crisps up the lettuce nicely. Now, I'm not using this in a salad, so I could care less about the crisping, but I did want the water off. So I'm actually going just to put it, I don't have to put it in the fridge. In fact, I'm not gonna put it in the fridge because I don't need it chilled. I don't need it crisp. I'm gonna be cooking it. I'm just gonna put it over here until I need it. So now that's ready to go. I just wanted to do that first so that it had a chance to further absorb the extra water. I don't mind that there's a little bit of water there, but I don't want a lot of excess water. In fact, I just thought of something. Whenever I make pasta, I always make sure I have a little cup next to my water, which came to boiling, by the way, to remind myself to grab some of the liquid gold, which is the pasta water. Pasta water is one of the best things to set aside whenever you're doing a pasta, because you never know if it's going to be too thick and you need to thin it out a little bit. So again, if you are just joining us, I'm Philly. Welcome to my kitchen. It is birthday eve for me, and please feel free to say hi in the chat. My apologies about the restarts, but such is the world of live stream. You know, you don't see that when Giada's doing it, but I'm also not as fancy as Giada. Love Giada, but definitely don't have the team working for me that she does. So the recipe. This recipe, actually, I found, and I think it was because my sister always, and I think she still gets Martha Stewart magazine, and whenever I go visit her, I would, look through her Martha Stewart. And there used to be a page, I don't know if there still is because I don't get the magazine, I really get few magazines anymore. Used to be a page that had, I think it had 4 or 6 of these, like all lined up, and there's perforations. And it was all different recipes that you could just tear out, and you could put this in your recipe box. Because yes, I'm recipe box old. I have a recipe box. I don't know if I've shared it lately. I'll have to show it to you sometime. It's so funny. If you know someone over the age of 40? I don't know if it's younger than that. See if they have a recipe box. I actually got a recipe box for my wedding. And in fact, back in the day at the bridal showers, sometimes they would say, bring your favorite recipe, right, to share. Now, really, most of my recipes that I use are online, and they're stored in file folders on my computer. But back in the day, this was what I had. So I still have it because it has good recipes in it. So come to find out when I looked this up, because I thought I'm going to look up and see if Martha has a link on her website, because at this point, I think it was 2003, I definitely had a computer, and I guess I was starting to get recipes. But in any event, this is on her website. So it's called Pasta with Sausage and Escarole. So you can link down below. It, you can get to Martha Stewart's link, and you'd have this recipe all laid out. So in here, we're going to be using a tubular pasta, or whatever you prefer, olive oil, garlic, hot Italian sausage, dry white wine, heavy cream, flat leaf parsley, fresh rosemary, which is to me that little something something, crushed red pepper flakes, yay, because I love any opportunity to put some little hotness in, ground pepper, and escarole and Parmesan cheese at the end. So what I'm going to be doing, because when you're a home cook, you get to make it exactly how you want it, is in fact, I don't even know the last time I bought pork sausage to cook at home, because if I eat pork sausage, it's usually out. At home, I get a poultry sausage. And so I have turkey sausage, and I have this right here. I bought a 1 pound of it, and then I divvied it up. I put 3 of them in the freezer, because they'll be great for Hubs and I to make a dish from. I used 1.5 last night on my sausage, pepper, and onion baguette pizza that I posted on Twitter. If you want to kind of be more in the daily know of me, find me on Twitter, Philly Live. And this is for today, because it's 1 serving. So this is basically 1/4 pound of hot poultry sausage. So I just find that when I'm cooking, I use the poultry sausage. If I'm out, of course, you're getting the regular sausage. And I actually think the poultry sausages are quite nice. And I also have made my own before, where you add your own spices, and you can also adjust the seasoning, especially the hotness, if you like yours really spicy. So, so that's one change, but I want to get my garlic clove ready. Where's my garlic? Oh, get my little garlic keeper. Now, since it's just me, I don't have to really follow a recipe with garlic. I'm going to definitely put a full clove. I think in her recipe, she used 2 garlic cloves for 4 servings. Well, we're going 1 garlic clove for 1 serving, because I like garlic. So let me get the skin off, the pesky skin. There we go. and get this just chopped up. I'm also gonna, before I chop it, I'm gonna get my heat on under my pan, which is another good hack. You wanna get that pan nice and warm, not too hot, because obviously once we, when we're doing garlic, I'm not putting the garlic in first, I don't think, which I rarely do, because it can, yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm already gonna change her recipe. So when I first did this recipe, I'm sure I followed it exactly as Martha or one of her creators put it. And the thing is with garlic, is unless you are really conscious and careful, garlic can burn so easily. So what I do, get this going. I'm gonna go back, 1 second, I'm gonna go back here. So what I do is I always add garlic after there has been something else put in. Now there's times that you're using just garlic for flavor, but then you're really being conscious of the heat, or there's times there's other things in there like onions and peppers, so you know that it's not getting all the heat directly, because once garlic burns, it kind of goes south fast. So, so in any event, I'm gonna now take my garlic and I'm just gonna give it a rough chop. I love garlic. I don't care if I get a piece of garlic, and frankly, I'm by myself tonight, so like, you know, bring it. But if you really, you know, like garlic, only very thin, then you can make sure this is minced up very well. Maybe you like it to be sliced so you can actually see and enjoy the sliced garlic. And if you like the flavor of garlic but don't really like eating the pieces of garlic, then you could just smush the clove and let the clove hang out in the oil later, and it flavors it, and then you could remove the clove. So lots of options there. So I've got that going. So what I'm gonna do, instead of starting with my garlic, I'm going to start my sausage. So let me get this up. I'm gonna get a little olive oil, and I'm gonna get my sausage going. Now, these sausages come in lengths. Usually the poultry, a lot of our sausages come in lengths. I already took off the, that little casing for it, because we're gonna be crumbling this. All right, so I'm gonna get this in there. My favorite old spoon that is well patinaed, you can see it. And I'm gonna break up my sausage. I'm so sorry I don't have the camera. Definitely Philly's a little disappointed because the camera really helps you see the beautiful things happening in this pan. So definitely disappointed, but once more is going on, I will bring it over to show you. So then the other things we're gonna be doing is once we get the sausage going, I'm gonna add my garlic so it can provide great flavor. And once the sausage is cooked, we're gonna pour in wine to deglaze the pan. So first of all, let me remind you that it's just me tonight, right? So, I mean, some might laugh at me, but I'm not gonna open up a bottle of wine just for me tonight because I do have work tomorrow. So, and I find that, you know, I don't know, like I'm just a typical person. If I'm gonna open up a bottle of wine, I think, well, am I gonna be drinking it? Like, you know, you just kind of go through all of these things. So, oh, Archie, extra garlic, yes, well, yeah. This is only for me, Arch, so Hubs isn't here. I could literally put probably 5 in there and I'd be happy. But what I was saying, Arch, is that, you know, wine and cooking can be problematic because, you know, first of all, the experts say, which I do agree-ish with them, about how the fact that you want to make sure any wine you use in cooking is drinkable. Now, I agree with that. Like, don't use the cooking wine that has the sodium in it and really very little wine. So, and it's all seasoned and all that. But, you know, for us, we don't always just have a bottle of wine hanging around, or maybe we don't want to open it because we don't know when we're going to drink the rest. And so I don't know about y'all, but I don't like wasting anything. So what I have done, and my mama taught me this, and I'm going to like get a lot of hate, I'm certain. But if you are going to be adding a not a red wine, a white wine, my little hack, if I don't want to open up a bottle of wine, is I add vermouth. I know, it's awful. And I'm probably just lost like half my viewers. But I'm telling you, unless you are cooking for the queen or some really important guest, and at that point you got wine, right? Because you're serving wine. But if it's just for you and I'm just being practical, the vermouth, use. So it gives you that wine flavor. We use this in our cocktails, so we know it's okay to drink, right? And it doesn't go bad on you. So that's one of the things that's great is the vermouth. I always have some vermouth, right? So my mom taught me that back when she was cooking. In fact, a dish that we used to have a lot was one of those Campbell soup recipe dishes called chicken with, oh no, oh Shelby. Shelby smells goodness, don't you, girly? You gotta watch those legs, girl. But anyways, she used to make this, I think it was with the cream of mushroom soup. She added vermouth, chicken, and she would put slivered almonds at the end. So yeah, so Shelby's checking it out. Smells good, doesn't it? Does it smell good? So Archie, how is the sound? Because I flipped the camera this time because I'm using my phone, the live stream. We got it working this week, but then it was super glitchy and the glitches wouldn't go away. So I just dropped it and said, I'm just gonna go on my phone again. But what I'd be curious is if the sound is better, because I'm facing the phone to me, if that is getting a better microphone. So I would love to know what your thoughts. Okay, good, good. But remember how it was a little echoey the last time? Is it the same echoey, less, more? I'm just curious. Oh, this is good. So right here, I've got my poultry sausage, hot. And it's coming together nicely. So I'm gonna add my garlic now because I want my garlic to get into all those flavors. There we go. Get that stirred up. Now, between you and me, I actually don't want to break this up too much. I want some of these, see how this is like a little bigger piece? And then you have some smaller pieces like that. I like that. I like that there's a difference in size because in the final pasta, there's gonna be a difference in texture. So to me, that is super good. Very happy with that. Oh my gosh, this garlic smells so good. So I could just eat this, the turkey sausage, the hot turkey sausage, and this garlic. It smells wonderful. But we do need to deglaze our pan. So I'm going to, this is just a serving for one, and the recipe below shows, the link shows the servings for 4. So I'm just gonna put in a 1/4 cup, since it's just one, of this vermouth to deglaze. There we go, eyeball it. That lovely sound. And I'm going to let that deglaze it, pick up some of those flavors from the pan. I'm gonna let it reduce. Archie, I was thinking of you because remember the last time I used heavy cream, you commented on the cream container. Well, this is what my cream containers usually look like. So, it's just a carton, and then it has this little round thing, which is nice, that we can use to open it. So, one thing I will say once it comes to adding the cream is I feel like there's a lot of things you could do. You could add half and half if you didn't want to use the heavy cream. You could add a dollop of cream cheese that will melt into the sauce to make it creamy because we don't always have heavy cream, right? Now, we're not going to use a lot of heavy cream. And honestly, you could try like a full fat, regular like yogurt and see that might, you got to worry about curdling. But, or you could use evaporated milk. I've used evaporated milk. I've even used the light evaporated milk to kind of take the place of cream if you're worried about calories and fat. So, but today I'm just using a splash of this. It'll just be a 1/4 cup in our recipe. Sound is perfect. Pick is a little out of focus. Oh, it is. So you know why that is? The better camera is on the other side. Arch, do you think I should switch it or just deal with it? What do you think? You tell me, because I can just flip the camera. Like, that's easy. That is not hard. Still, it's fine, Phil. Arch is like, calm down, don't worry. So now you can see that all that wine, that vermouth I put in has really reduced by half. So we're ready for our next steps. Okay. So for our next steps, we are going to be adding cream, parsley, rosemary, red pepper flakes, and seasoning with salt and pepper. So I'm going to add a splash of cream. Oh, I got to open this. Okay. Oh, it is not cooperating. There we go. You can tell the cream is fresh. But you know what? Before that, I'm going to turn this down. Actually, I'm going to take it off the heat a second. I'm going to get this back going because I want to get my pasta in. So the packery or patchery, however it's said, that takes about 12 minutes to cook. And our escarole is going to cook in the sauce once we make it for about 8 to 10 minutes. So I want to get these in and going. So let's get this up. And I'm putting in 1/4 pound because of dry pasta because it's just me. I know, Arch, you know me. I'm a bit of a worrier, which is funny because on a lot of things I don't worry. But, you know, I don't know how y'all are with cooking, Archie, but I know for me, even as a cook, I hold myself to a high standard. So as a live streamer, that doesn't change. So hence the worrying. So this should be up and running in a quick second. While it's getting up and running, I am going to get my fresh rosemary chopped. We just need a little bit, not a ton. I'm going to take off some of these leaves that are here because I don't want the big old stem. I love that the rosemary's in it. I think that'll give it a really nice, I don't know, rosemary just gives such a nice warm, like it's not warm like cinnamon, but it harkens to something a little more complex. And so I love rosemary in recipes. In fact, one of my favorite pizzas that was at a place that was a chain of all things called Bertucci's. And I remember when Bertucci's came on the scene years ago, like we had never had like the fire roasted pizza or whatever you would, fire oven, like oven fire or whatever it's called. Brick oven, that's what it is, brick oven pizza. And they had this one pizza there called the Listina that had sausage, it had roasted garlic, rosemary, oh my goodness, fresh mozzarella, and I can't remember what else. And the rosemary though, it just lent it this wonderful, wonderful flavor. My water is boiling. So we're gonna put this in. I forgot to salt my water, and you should always salt your water, especially in case you use your water in your pasta sauce. So I'm going to add some salt. Okay, got that. Bring this back up to a boil. There we go. I'm going to set my timer so I don't forget about it. All right, so now back to our sauce. So I'm going to bring this back over and we're going to add our remaining ingredients. So I'm going to add 1/4 cup of cream. Let me just bring it here actually, and then I can show y'all. 1/4 cup of cream, just eyeballing it. And cream is actually something that I think, you know, you could always add less and add more pasta water if something's too thick. One of the things that's scary as a cook, but I also think freeing as a cook, is that in the end you get to make the decisions. So I'm also going to be adding some red pepper flakes. I like things spicy, so I'm going to be pretty generous with my flakes. And I know actually these flakes have, you know, I don't know if you ever find this, but some flakes are spicier than others. This is a spicy batch. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and some pepper. And I don't want to forget my rosemary. I like black pepper, so I'm going to let that go in. There we go. I don't know if it's because I like cacio e pepe. I know there's quite a bit of black pepper also in carbonara, but I'm putting this rosemary in and I'm just giving it a stir. Smell it. So you can see right now what it looks like. So we're going to put it back on the heat. And then I'm going to be adding my escarole. So they would say for a full 4 servings, you'd put the whole head of escarole in. As many of you know, I like to veg things up. So I'm going to definitely add more than just 1/4 of it. Plus it was kind of a small head of escarole. So I'm going to add half of this. I like to bulk it up. You know, it's funny. You know, I don't get a lot of frozen meals, and one of my complaints is that I feel like they really skimp on the veggies. And I think that veggies are such a great way to fill up and they're such a great way to add nutrition to our meals. And I really find in frozen meals that the veggie ratio is quite lacking, which actually surprises me because I feel like they could bulk it up and by adding the veggies and probably reduce costs. I mean, unless it's a really expensive veggie, I'm gonna save these more tender ones for a salad because they'll make nicer salad. I don't know that I'm gonna use all this, but I'm gonna use this to at least cut. And then I'm just gonna cut this in thirds. So I'm gonna go, simple as that. Now I'm taking most of this and I'm just gonna add it to my pan right back here. There we go, adding it there. Now this will cook and this will wilt. I'm gonna cover it to aid in that. And this will reduce, so, I'm half inclined to add all of it, but maybe I won't, because then I have a salad for later. All right, so I'm gonna get a lid. Let me see. My hole is still here. There we go. Got a lid going. I'm gonna stir my pasta, make sure it's not sticking. It's sticking actually to the bottom of the pan. All right, so, and then we're gonna let this cook for the remainder, really, of the time that the pasta's cooking. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, I'm gonna put my garlic away. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, I made sure here, what did I make sure? Oh, and put a cup aside so that I make sure I take some pasta water. Just give it one more stir. There we go. Excellent, excellent. So let me see how Archie's doing. Oh, DS, hello. Welcome. Thank you, Archie and DS, for coming on today. I had a new friend come on at the beginning, but I lost him after the third try. His name was Alvin, and I really feel bad about that because the first two tries were super glitchy. So while this is all cooking, I will tell you the quick story. I don't know, I think you heard, Arch, that the son and I, we got together on Monday, and he helped me find the fix so that everything was working well. But it just was too glitchy, and I knew I would regret it because it would not be a great experience. So we're doing it from my iPhone again. So the reason it's a little fuzzy today is because I tried facing the iPhone to get a better sound. Now it's funny because my techie son said to me, he said, Mom, he said, it should give you a choice when you do your live stream of where you want the microphone to be. He said, you have microphones a couple different places on the phone. And I was like, we do? Because that's me. And I didn't notice it giving me choices. So here we are. But it's good to talk to you both. I know. Well, and yes, the other thing I like to say about technology is great when it works, right? When it doesn't, oh, it's a royal pain in the tush. Oh, you guys are very kind. And I don't know if you heard, and I'm not trying to get any recognition, but it is my birthday eve. And Hubs is away. He's getting recognized and awarded something tonight. And it's just my lonesome. But I will not be cooking beginning tomorrow. I will not be cooking on Saturday. And Sunday, Hubs might make me cook again. And I take that out. It's not like he makes me do anything. But I might be back on Sunday. But definitely taking the cooking off on tomorrow and on Saturday. Oh, you're great, Arch. I love you, Arch. Is there an optimum time to stream on YouTube? Or it should be great all the time. I don't believe it's I don't believe it's actually YouTube's fault why I'm having troubles. Ideally, my son has said, because he does have a lot of technology know-how, he has said that it is because of my computer. Now, the laptop I use is actually it's a newer laptop. I think I got it for Hubs before the pandemic, so it's not very old, and got a decent one. Like, we didn't need, a fancy one. we didn't need one for gaming or any, we don't do that, but apparently it has trouble, I think, handling all of the applications that we use to stream because we don't do it right from the phone. So we're utilizing some different parts of it. So my son thinks that is essentially the trouble. The problem is that, oh my gosh, to get a new laptop to help in streaming, well, I think it will be ultimately what we'll need to do. Like, who wants to drop that kind of money, right? 34. You guys are the best. Yes, I'm turning 35. Couldn't you tell? That's why I have a recipe box, because I'm only 35. What's the best? Oh, I've read that uploading vids depends on traffic. Yes, I do think uploading does depend on traffic. And it depends, I think, also on the length of your video. But as far as live streaming, and that's a good question though, Arch, I will have to look and see if there is any correlation between a lot of people live streaming on YouTube and connections being bad. I will do a Google on that just to see. So Diaz says, what's the best birthday gift you received from Andy? That is it. Yes, I know I'm like a broken record with this. You ask the best questions. That is a good question. Oh, so this isn't necessarily a present because, well, the whole thing was a present. So when I turned 40, so now you know that I'm at least 40. So when I turned 40, he surprised me with a trip to New York City. Now, as I think both of you know that DS is there, but we both love New York City. And so, and he planned it all. And when I tell you, that is not his strong suit, right? So I'm the planner. I actually love planning trips. Like, I thoroughly enjoy it. I think the planning is almost as good as the doing sometimes. So, but he's not so much, but he planned the trip, a lovely hotel that's really one of our favorite hotels in the city. DS, it's the Benjamin. So back then was our first time at the Benjamin. We had this lovely room. And then we went to, what was it called? Park Avenue Spring, because it was in the springtime. I don't know if that's the name of I can't remember the name of the restaurant. It was a schmancy restaurant. But you know what was amazing is when we went to go eat for our reservations, my parents walked in and my sister and her husband walked in. So he had arranged for them to come too. So that night at dinner, we had dinner with the 6 of us and at this wonderful place. And we may have had lots of alcohol, but it was just so delightful. Like, it was just, not because of the alcohol, but it was just like this amazing experience with my family, total surprise. And that was one of my favorites. Now, he also has since, let me turn these, he also had given me, and this is going to give obviously more, but the age away, he also planned a trip for my 50th, and he planned it to Punta Cana. And so that was delightful. And again, that's just not his strong suit, but at least with that, like, it was a, what's it called? One of those all-inclusive resorts. So there really wasn't a lot he had to do besides surprise me, and it was a total surprise, and he had clues, and it was very cute, and it was exciting. So I didn't, so that was very cool. But that was definitely an easier trip for him to plan. Like the New York thing, like that was complicated, getting family involved and all of that. So that's probably one of my favorite birthday gifts that he did. Be careful, the children might be listening. Yes, isn't it just a cool place, DS? I remember walking into our room, and our room was actually like a junior suite or something. It just had this little sitting room that was off of the bedroom, and we walked in, and I'm telling you, like, everyone that knows me knows how much I love music and how much music is important to me. And we walk in, and this classical music is going through the place on this Bose speaker, because that's the Benjamin, right? And I remember after that, for many a time, I would actually, because we had our little iTunes. We'd bring our iTunes, and there a lot of times would be a port at different hotels. And I would play classical music, even like at a you know, a Ramada or a, I'm trying to think of the other ones that, that are, you know, popular around here, like a Quinta, a La Quinta, just because to give me that vibe that I had at the Benjamins. So yeah, Benjamin's a great place. It's a boutique hotel. They treat you very special, and I felt very special that birthday. All right, so my pasta's supposed to be done, so I'm gonna test it out. I don't think it's quite done yet. Let me check my escarole. Oh, so I should have been paying a little more attention. So what happened here, friends, is you can see there's no more liquid left. And even though I had the lid on, so luckily nothing burned because I was just chit-chatting. But look, you can barely see the escarole. I'm so glad I put all that escarole in because, oh my goodness. So I'm gonna add some pasta water right away to this. Because I want more of a sauce. Let me get that going. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Okay, let me turn off my timer. And I'm gonna get my pasta over here. Let's see, turn this off. I'm so sorry you can't see it, guys. It's the nature of the biz, but it is a bit of a bummer because my camera was all set to go. So I'm gonna get this in, and I'm gonna let the pasta finish cooking in the sauce, which is always a good idea, so it can soak up those flavors. And these large patchouli, I think I looked it up the last time, but my wonderfully young brain has forgotten what they were called. So by the way, this year what we're going to be doing is we are going tomorrow night out to dinner. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I enjoy going out on a Saturday so much more than a Friday. I feel like Fridays after a work week, I'm tired. You know, both of us, we fall asleep early. Like it's pretty boring. So for me, it's just much better to, you know, go out to a nice dinner on a Saturday where we have just a kind of a delightful day of sleeping in a little bit, which is not very late because neither one of us can sleep in too late. All right, so I'm just gonna let this soak up a little bit. I think I'm also gonna add a touch more cream because I feel like with it, what happens is once it kind of soaked, once it all evaporated, I kind of lost a little bit of the creamy element. So I'm gonna go get my cream. So this is maybe good, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here to you, DS and Arch, but it's kind of a good rule of thumb that if that happens, if everything gets evaporated and you feel like once you add cooking water or another liquid that it's really not coming back to the creamy consistency, just add a little more cream, right? So I'm just gonna add a little drizzle. I'm gonna give it a stir. Because this isn't a heavy dish, but I do want that yumminess, right? Give it a stir. Whoop, I lost one. I don't want to lose any of these guys. I'm going to use this spoon. The spoon's going to work much better. Ooh, tastes yummy. And can I tell you, I can taste that bite of that red pepper. That makes me so happy. So since, let me just see here. There we go. Okay. I don't know about you all, but like I find that when you're cooking with greens, they all want to cling together. And you have this whole hunk of greens and you're like, no, I want to spread the wealth. I want you to go everywhere. So you feel like you're just separating family and saying, no, you go here and you go there because we want you throughout. We don't want you just in one spot. Okay, let me just put this over here a little bit longer. I think we're about ready. And I'm gonna get my cheese ready. I'm gonna put that over here. Oh, actually, I'll use this to put it on. I know, they are huge. They are huge. Oh, Arch. Yeah, I saw when I was at lunch today, I saw that there had been some drama. And you know, it's interesting. I was actually during lunch also looking up this recipe on, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's, I'm so terrible. Not not Healthy Harvest. It's such a cute blog that does great recipes, and I saw someone share. It was for this avocado and Gouda sandwich with tomatoes and sprouts. It looked delightful, and something, I think it's Something Harvest. Anyway, what I found was that I'm looking, because then I was looking at the comments. I love looking at the comments, not because I knew the flavors would be good together, but also see if anyone did any adjustments or changes or had questions that would be good for me to know if I made the sandwich. And boy, things just got so nasty. And it made me think, because I had seen that, Archie, that there had been some problems. And, you know, I was thinking to myself that one of the things, because being online, being at Twitter, by the way, I'm just gonna put some fresh Parmesan on here. You know, there's just a lot of unhappy, trolly people, and Half-Baked Harvest, that's the name of the blog. And it's this delightful sandwich that she had made. And basically what happened is there must be people that are big supporters of her, which is wonderful. But there was someone that had some criticism that shouldn't have, right? It wasn't totally nasty. Well, it was kind of nasty. It wasn't nasty. It wasn't said nasty, but it was unnecessary, right? So, but then the whole gang of supporters, like, they went down a rabbit hole of real nastiness. Like, so what she did wasn't right, and I guess it's the teacher in me. Two wrongs don't make a right. So what she did wasn't right, and should be corrected. Make no mistake. But then they got so, like, it got dark. Like, it got really dark, and I was just taken back. And I thought to myself, my son had said to me, going on social media, doing YouTube, he's like, you're gonna get it sometimes, right? Like, you're gonna face it. You're gonna face unhappy people that are behind a screen and no one really knows their name and all of that. And he said, and his advice, this little guy, not little, but like, you know, this 24-year-old said, Mom, you gotta let it go. And you gotta know that, like, nothing you say is going to change them. In fact, sometimes it makes it worse. So everyone definitely deals with it their own way. But I mean, I've had some things said, I've had some nasty things said to my videos. And sometimes when it's been nasty enough, I've removed the comment, but otherwise I just ignore it, because I feel like they want attention. And, but it's sad that people really, that's what they spend their time doing, right? And here, Archie, you and DS and me, we just want to, like, share our experiences, some of our favorite dishes. And Arch, like, you've got such a wealth of experience to share. And you and I and DS would all agree that everyone's tastes are different, right? What one person likes, someone might not. But food is subjective. If you don't care for it, move along. Don't watch. But, like, to say, I just don't understand. I don't understand the nastiness. I know it's kind of where our culture is right now, but it's very sad to me. So I'm going to add one more thing to this. You saw me add some freshly grated Parmesan, but now I'm going to add my favorite frozen herbs. Let me see what I want to do. Let's see here. I believe, yes, some frozen parsley, right? You guys have heard me talk about that. So I'm going to sprinkle some frozen Italian parsley on top. And I'm going to get a little drizzle of olive oil. If you ever want your stuff to go kind of restaurant quality, and of course this is not necessary, but you give it a little drizzle of olive oil and it kind of takes it next level. So I'm laughing, by the way, guys, that this is a 1/4 pound of pasta, and it's a 1/4 pound of turkey sausage, and like a half of a smaller head of escarole. This is huge. Oh my goodness. So I'm ready to taste it. So let me get my fork. Let me show you. Just gonna get a little bit of this. I'm gonna get some escarole. Oh, that's actually it's a pretty good bite. Let me show y'all. Here, you can see there. And let me make sure again you've got the shot of the dish. There we go. and I'm gonna give this a taste. I've not had this in a long time. This used to make the rounds, and the boys would just push away the greens, but they loved the sausage. So I'm going to, and these are huge, so I need to cut this. I'm very excited. I've not had this in years. Like I said, the first time I ever made this was 2003, so it's been a while. Mm. 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 Mm, 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 mm. This pasta is freaking fabulous, by the way. The actual, I mean, the dishes, but that pasta is such good pasta. If anyone's interested, I think I'll include the link because I got it on Amazon. It is awesome. What I love is, while this is lightish, I know there's some heavy cream, but you know, I've got my turkey sausage, I have my vegetable, my escarole. That cream that we added really gave just a tongue, like a mouthfeel that just, it tastes like elevated. So, I would say don't skip the cream unless you add another like half and half or cream cheese or something to help give it that lusciousness. But what I love best is I added extra red pepper. So I got some heat going, and I am loving the heat. So good. It's delicious. It is hearty. It is, but not heavy. Does that make sense? This, I don't know how I'm eating this. I don't think I'm eating all this. Maybe this will be my lunch tomorrow for my birthday. When I'm at work, right? At school, that would be nice. It's hearty, but not heavy. And that's truly how I would describe this pasta. The link is below. The link serves 4. I divided it up into 1, so you can see how much this makes if you make it for 4. It is so good. And I don't even have a drink to toast you to. But I'll be thinking of you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is my birthday. And I will certainly be toasting then. Let me see. So, let me see here. Arch says, I'm rubbish at walking away. Yeah, it is hard walking away. I agree, Archie. It's hard when people are unkind. It's really hard walking away. And a little bit about me, I'm very non-confrontational. So that's kind of why I walk away, because I really don't like confrontations. And so it's not that it doesn't hurt me when I encounter trolls. I'm normal. I get wounded just like everybody. But I just like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely a non-confrontational person. And yes, you have good advice. Hang on to the good people. I couldn't agree more. And Archie, and DS, I mean, you both have so many people that love what you do, support you. I'm one of those for both of you guys. So remember that, lean on the people that know your worth is what I would say. That would be my best advice. Oh, I love the bite. The bite is great. So to me, a toothsome pasta is what makes this dish sing. This would be fine. Like if spaghetti's your jam, it's not that spaghetti wouldn't be good, but you wouldn't get that bite. Maybe if you went thicker, like with malfata or pappardelle, like then you could get more of a bite. But for just a thinner pasta, I just think you're gonna lose some of the texture. And yes, this is 4 ounces of pasta, Arch. Can you believe it? Like, isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, this pasta, it like explodes when you cook it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Thank you guys. Oh, thank you, DS. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Sorry, Arch. Sorry that I'm making, as you know what, I'll tell you what my hubby always says, because he's a little crazy. He always says, so I might say to him, you know, because we go to bed usually by 10, just because I get up at 5:30 every morning. So I'm exhausted by 9, 10 o'clock. And so by 10, I'm usually in bed. And if at 9, I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. His term is embrace the pain. Now, I don't always like embracing the pain, but that's what he'd tell you if he was here. So DS and Archie, thank you so much. Anyone else that's watching it, thank you. Obviously, we still don't have the tech issues quite figured out, but definitely working on it. Do try this dish. This dish is delicious. Again, my best description is it's hearty without being heavy. It's really spectacular, even when you use turkey sausage. And so if you used regular sausage, it'd sing even higher. And guys, it has been real. And you know what's good? So I don't have my April schedule dropped yet. I know I'm going to be trying to get a stream in before Easter, but so in total, what do you call it? I can't even think what it's called. My words escape me. Whatever. I'm just being honest with you. In fact, let me do one thing and then I'll tell you, because that way I can cut this part off. So, by the way, so I'm going to kind of say goodbye, but I'm not going to say goodbye, guys, if that makes sense. I can just cut this part off. Never mind. I'm sorry. I digress. Transparency was the word I was looking for. And DS, especially for you, because you are so sweet and always noticing Shelby when she's on, but our Shelby girl is not doing well. And so I'm stuck on my schedule because I don't know yet. I just don't know yet. I think we're going to be saying goodbye to her soon. So I'm just not sure quite how the date's going to go. So like when we're going to do that. So DS, I got to tell you, like, I've really appreciated every time you've noticed her and given her some love. And she is just such an important part of our lives. But I can't drop my schedule until I figure that out. And so the next time y'all see me, I might be a little emotional. So please just keep us in your prayers, because it's never hard saying goodbye to beloved family members. And I look at her as being one of our family members. So yeah. So Shelby is just, she's not doing super well. She did come out and she checked things out, but she's got some other health issues that have come up. So yeah. So please keep us all in your prayers. And so I'm going to end now because I'm talking too much. But you guys have a great weekend, and thank you for coming on, and thank you anyone else that's joining us here. And until we eat again, see y'all later. Oh, I gotta stop it this way. That's right. Oh my goodness. This is funny. Okay, now I have to look. Oh, we don't want that. Let's see here. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. This is hysterical.